The dusty parking lot of the Rusty Anchor bar shimmered under the midday sun, a haze of heat rising from the cracked asphalt. A scrawny boy no older than 12 stood at the edge of the lot, clutching a small velvet box in his trembling hands. His clothes were threadbare, his sneakers worn to the soles, and his eyes carried a weight no child should bear. This was Tommy, and today he was about to do something unthinkable: sell his mother's wedding ring, the last piece of her he had left. If you're watching this, grab a tissue, because this story will pull at your heartstrings. Stick around to see how a group of rough-around-the-edges bikers changed a boy's life forever, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the power of human kindness. Tommy's world had crumbled 6 months ago when his mother, Sarah, lost her battle with cancer. She was his everything, his protector, his teacher, his home. After her death, Tommy was sent to live with his uncle, a man more interested in whiskey than raising a kid. The bills piled up, the fridge stayed empty, and Tommy's uncle barely noticed the boy's existence. But Sarah had left behind one treasure: her gold wedding ring etched with tiny stars, a symbol of the love she'd shared with Tommy's father before he'd vanished years ago. Tommy had promised his mother he'd keep it safe, but now, with hunger gnawing at his stomach and eviction notices taped to the door, he had no choice. He needed money, and the Rusty Anchor, a biker hangout on the edge of town, was his last hope. The bar's gravel lot was packed with gleaming motorcycles, their chrome reflecting the sun like mirrors. Tommy's heart pounded as he approached a group of bikers lounging near their bikes, their leather vests patched with skulls and flames. These weren't the kind of people you messed with: tattooed, bearded, and loud. They looked like they could crush him with a glance, but Tommy was desperate. He cleared his throat, his voice barely a whisper. "Excuse me, I've got something to sell." The bikers turned, their eyes narrowing at the skinny kid interrupting their conversation. The leader, a grizzled man named Bear with a scar across his cheek, raised an eyebrow. "Kid, you lost. This ain't a pawn shop," he growled, but his tone softened when he saw Tommy's trembling hands. Tommy opened the velvet box, revealing the delicate gold ring. "It was my mom's," he said, his voice cracking. She passed away. I need money for food. I'll sell it for whatever you can give me." The bikers exchanged glances, their tough exteriors faltering. Bear crouched down to Tommy's level, his eyes locking onto the boy's. "Your mom's ring, huh? That's a big thing to let go of, kid. You sure about this?" Tommy nodded, tears welling up. He didn't want to sell it, but what else could he do? The bikers didn't know it yet, but Tommy's story was about to unravel their hardened hearts in ways none of them expected. Bear took the ring, holding it up to the light. The other bikers, Rusty, a wiry man with a red bandana, Lena, a tough-as-nails woman with a buzz cut, and Jake, a quiet giant with a gentle voice, crowded around. They weren't rich, but they knew value when they saw it. The ring was worth hundreds, maybe more, but Tommy's hollow cheeks and desperate eyes told a story money couldn't fix. "What's your name, kid?" Lena asked, her voice softer than her appearance suggested. "Tommy," he replied, wiping his nose on his sleeve. "My uncle, he's not taking care of me. I just need enough to eat for a while." The bikers fell silent, the weight of Tommy's words settling over them like a storm cloud. Bear handed the ring back to Tommy, shaking his head. "We ain't buying your mom's ring, kid. That's not how this works." Tommy's heart sank, thinking he'd failed, but Bear wasn't done. "Tell you what," he said, standing up. "You come inside, get some food in you, and we'll figure this out. Nobody's going hungry on my watch." Tommy hesitated, unsure if he could trust these strangers, but the promise of food was too much to resist. He followed them into the Rusty Anchor, where the smell of fried chicken and beer filled the air. The bartender, a burly man named Gus, raised an eyebrow but didn't question Bear as he ordered a plate of food for the boy. As Tommy devoured a burger and fries, the bikers sat around him, their usual rowdy banter replaced by quiet concern. Lena leaned forward, her voice low. "Tell us about your mom, Tommy." And so he did. He told them about Sarah's laugh, how she'd sing off-key while making pancakes, how she'd read him bedtime stories even when she was too sick to get out of bed. He told them about the hospital, the bills, and his uncle's neglect. By the time he finished, Lena was wiping tears from her eyes, and even Bear, the toughest of them all, looked shaken. "Kid," Bear said, his voice gruff, "you shouldn't be carrying this alone." The bikers didn't just listen, they acted. Bear pulled out his phone and called a friend who worked at social services, explaining Tommy's situation without giving away too much. Lena, who'd grown up in foster care herself, knew the system was slow, so she suggested they take care of Tommy until things were sorted. Rusty, who owned a small auto shop, offered to teach Tommy how to fix bikes, giving him something to do besides worry. Jake, the quiet one, slipped Tommy a $20 bill and whispered, "For whatever you need, kid." But the real surprise came when Bear stood up, his voice booming across the bar. "Listen up, everybody, this kid's been through hell and we're gonna help him out. Pass the hat." The other patrons, bikers, truckers, and locals didn't hesitate. They tossed in crumpled bills, coins, whatever they had. By the time the hat came back to Bear, it was overflowing with cash. Tommy's eyes widened as Bear handed it to him. "This ain't for your mom's ring," Bear said. "This is for you. Keep that ring, Tommy. It's your mom's love and you don't sell love." Tommy clutched the ring to his chest, tears streaming down his face. For the first time in months, he felt seen, cared for, like he wasn't alone. But the story doesn't end there. The bikers didn't just give Tommy money, they gave him a family. Over the next few weeks, they checked in on him, making sure his uncle shaped up or faced consequences. Bear's friend at social services got Tommy into a better living situation with a foster family who treated him like their own. Rusty kept his promise, teaching Tommy how to wrench on bikes, and the boy found solace in the hum of engines and the smell of motor oil. Lena became like a big sister, showing up with groceries and tough love whenever Tommy needed it. And Jake, he was always there, quiet but steady, a gentle giant who made Tommy feel safe. The ring stayed with Tommy, a reminder of his mother's love and the unexpected kindness of strangers. The bikers, once intimidating figures in a dusty parking lot, became his unlikely heroes. They showed him that even in the darkest moments, there's light to be found in the compassion of others. And the Rusty Anchor, it became a place Tommy could always return to, a haven where he wasn't just a poor boy with nothing left but a kid with a future. As the sun sets on this story, let it sink in. Kindness can come from the most unexpected places. Those rough-looking bikers didn't just change Tommy's life, they reminded us all that humanity shines brightest when we lift each other up. If this story touched your heart, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more stories that inspire and uplift. Share this video with someone who needs a reminder that there's still good in the world. And let us know in the comments, what's a moment of kindness that changed your life? Until next time, keep spreading love because you never know whose life you might transform.